Hi everybody, it's me again, Jack Wallen, and my last video was pretty sad, and I can't say that things are any better at the moment, but you know how life can be, right? Life is filled with ups and downs and twists and turns, and one day you wake up and life's like a musical. And then the next day you wake up and life's like a horror movie. And so that's kind of where I am at the moment. Today I kind of woke up somewhere in between the musical and the horror movie. But hey, what can you expect when you're going through a very, very difficult time in your life? That's just the way it is. So I'm not going to blather on about that. I want to talk about something that came up in my most recent therapy session. And I know you probably don't want to hear what goes on in my therapy sessions, but this one's, I think there's something to be learned from this one. So I want to kick it back way, way back into the late 70s-ish. I was 7 years old. And if you follow me on Facebook, you most recently you heard this, so you can tune out or whatever you want. So when I was 7 years old, my father decided to drive myself, my sister, and my mom to go get ice cream, which was a big treat for us because, we were poor. And he pulls up into the parking lot and he gets out, mom gets out, my sister gets out. And then when I get out and I put my right foot on the ground, I felt something happen, something bad happen. And essentially what happened was that the ball joint in my right hip gave out. And I crumbled to the ground. And my mom looked at me. She said, "Get up, you can walk." I was like, I can't. I don't know what's wrong. Get up, you can walk. So I pulled myself up and I hobbled along with everybody over to the ice cream shop. And it hurt. It hurt very badly. And I could limp. It's about all I had was a limp. So we get our ice cream, we go home, and my leg continues to be problematic. And so I insist that something's wrong, and they insist on not hearing me, that the pain that I was enduring didn't matter. And of course, as a child, I translated that into I didn't matter. And that was a kind of a frequent motif throughout my childhood, that I didn't matter. So eventually, I convinced them to take me to the doctor, and they did. And it took three different doctors that we went to, that finally we discovered that I had a bone degenerative disease, and that I had to go to Riley Children's Hospital immediately or I would never walk again. So thankfully, the doctor said that because the doctor is going to be heard, because the doctor's opinion matters. They took me off to Riley Hospital and I went through various and sundry things like special shoes and a brace, and eventually they did an experimental surgery on me, and it worked. So now let's fast forward a few years. All of a sudden, I started smelling and tasting infection in my mouth. Well, I didn't know that it was infection. I just smelled and tasted something very, very bad. It was awful. And I kept trying to convince my mom that something was wrong. She wouldn't listen to me. My voice was not heard. My pain did not matter. So it took me a while, And I begged my mom, please take me to the dentist. Something is wrong, please. Well, eventually, I guess she got tired of me begging, so she took me to a dentist. And the dentist took an x-ray or whatever, and he said, it's a good thing you brought him here, because had you waited much longer, he has an abscess, and that would have broken off, gone into his bloodstream, and he could have died. So my mother's refusal to hear my voice and to decide that my pain and situation mattered could have killed me. And so I continued on as a child and into my teens with this understanding that my voice was never heard, that I didn't matter. And as you can expect, I carried that into adulthood. And experienced the idea that my voice was never heard and I didn't matter so often with so many different people in so many different situations that I began to believe it. And eventually, it got to the point where I felt that I mattered so little that I just kept getting smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. And I was absolutely certain that I was going to disappear. And that no one would notice. And it was only through a recent therapy session that I came to understand what was going on and how it connected to my childhood and how it's affecting me now. And during that session, as I was telling my therapist this, my therapist starts crying. And of course, she reinforced the idea that I do matter and that I am heard. But she, of course, can't make those people in my life and society hear me. She can't make me matter to everyone. But what she did and what she could do was reinforce the idea that, if anything, I matter to me. And if that's the thing that gets me through right now, then so be it. I am now making space for myself. I am mattering to me. I am hearing my voice. Whether or not anybody else doesn't matter right now. I mean, yeah, sure, it's great that I finally realized that there are people out there for which I do matter and that I am heard. But right now, I have to matter to me. Because if I don't matter to me, I can't take care of myself. And if I can't take care of myself, I can't take care of other people. And that's part of who I am, is that I care for other people. And I have, for the longest time, for decades, have put everybody else's needs and wants before mine. And as hard as it is, because it is terribly hard to have that frame of mind and all of a sudden go, okay, I've got to reverse that. I've got to put me first for a change. For now. At least for now. I've got to put me first. Because if I don't, then I'm going to believe the conceit that I don't matter and my voice isn't heard, and I'm just going to get so small that I am going to vanish. And I have noticed that was last week. That was last Thursday. And I've already noticed a difference. I've noticed that by giving myself space and reminding myself that I do matter, things are starting to look less cloudy, less bleak. And I have to remind myself every day, because it's not embedded in my nature yet. But I have to remind myself, wake up every day, you matter. You matter and you are heard. And then, of course, I posted something on Facebook about this, and the shock to me was that how many people reached out to say, you do matter. You matter to me. You've inspired me. And hearing those things reasserts the idea for me that I do matter, that I am heard. But even still, with all of those people saying those very kind things to me, it's still hard to wrap my mind around the idea, because I have been made to feel so small for so long. I have been made to believe that I don't matter for so long. I have been made to believe that my voice isn't heard for a very long time. And I'm sure that there are plenty of people out there, whether you're watching this video or not, or you might know some people who feel the same way that I have. And if you are that person, or if you know that person, the first thing you need to do is look in the mirror, look yourself right in the eye and say, I matter. I am heard. And even if right now the only person that you matter to and hears you is you, that still counts. Because you can consider that your first step in making a very, very profound change in your life. And I would beg you to take the time to make that change, because if you don't, you're going to wind up feeling just like I did, that eventually you're just going to vanish and no one will even remember that you were here. So look yourself in the mirror every morning when you wake up and every night before you go to bed and say, I matter and I am heard. Please do that for yourself. Don't do it for anybody else. Don't do it for me. Don't do it for your loved ones. Don't do it for your friends. Do it for yourself. And once you start to matter to you, the world will open up and you will start to see that you matter to other people. But it has to start with you. It has to. It's the same concept that you can't find your happiness inside of other people. You can only find your happiness inside of you. And once you find that happiness, then you can share it. And you can be open to feel other people's happiness and not feel jealous that all of these people around you are all so happy. It's the same thing with mattering and being heard. You probably see all of these people around you that matter to someone or matter to you. And you don't feel that's reciprocated, that you don't feel like you matter to them, you don't feel like you matter to anyone, but you see all of these people that matter, and you get jealous, or you get angry, or you hurt. So take that first step and reassure yourself that you do matter. It begins inside, and I promise you, it will grow. It will grow, and it'll infect other people, and you'll start mattering to them, or you'll see that you always mattered to them, but you had these blinders on that you couldn't see it before. And just the idea of knowing that you matter to another person is life-affirming. And sometimes we need that. And that's not a selfish thing to need. It is absolutely not selfish to want to matter to someone. It's human nature. It really is. So you will have nothing to feel guilty about, nothing to feel ashamed about when you look in the mirror and say, I matter. Are we good? Can you do that for me? Can you please do that for me? Or if you know somebody who feels the way that I have been feeling most of my life, can you look at them and say, first off, you matter to me. And second off, you've got to matter to yourself. And if you do those, if you realize that you matter to me and you matter to yourself, that's two people. And two people is quite a bit more than zero. Right? And as that circle grows, that circle of you mattering grows, life is going to change. Life is going to become beautiful again. Or beautiful if you never experienced it to begin with. This existence is hard. It doesn't matter how successful you are. It doesn't matter how much money you have. It doesn't matter how beautiful you are. Life is hard. And when you believe that you don't matter to anybody, life is exponentially harder. So, please do this for yourself. Right? So, on a different note, real quickly, Me and My Muse opens 2 weeks, I think. Less than 2 weeks. It opens on the 21st of August. And I know that probably not many of you, if any of you, live in the town that I live in, which is Louisville, Kentucky. If you are here, or if you're close, please come and see this show. It's not very often that I can earnestly say that a piece of theater that I'm involved in is truly and profoundly good. And thanks to a brilliant director and a brilliant co-star, whatever you want to call him, this show I'm proud of it. I'm insanely proud of it. It's only 50 minutes long. It's free, with donations going to Louisville Pride if you are so inclined. And I promise you, you will walk away changed for the better. Especially if you suffer from imposter syndrome, or you struggle with believing in yourself. If you suffer from those two things, you will come out of this a changed person. That's how much I believe in this show. 7 o'clock, the Walden Theater, near the intersection of Payne and Baxter, August 21st. It'll be Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then the next week, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Please, if you can make it, do so. You will not regret that 1 hour you spend with me. Spread the word. If you're in Louisville, Kentucky, or Indiana, or anywhere near here, spread the word. Tell everybody, you got to go see this show. It'll be worth it. It'll be worth every penny you spend. Anyway, that's all I have to say today. I hope that whatever I said maybe might have an impact, a positive impact on you or someone you know or love. And with that, I will say that I hope that you and everyone you know and love have a wonderful, wonderful day.